What's up guys, it's Flossin, and today we're diving into one of the most requested topics I've seen in my comment section recently, team building. A lot of you have been asking me, who should I pull for my team, or which characters are worth saving for? And trust me, I see all those comments. I try my best to respond, but man, it's tough, because I don't know what agents are sitting on your account. I mean, if I could, I'd just hacker man's my way in, but seriously, team building is such a crucial part in Zenless Zone Zero, and it's easy to get overwhelmed by all the different agents, passives, abilities, and roles. So in this video, I'm breaking down team compositions, and why your team probably sucks. But don't worry, I've been there too. I'll walk you through what to look out for, whether you're building around agents you already have, or you're planning on pulling future ones. And hey, if this video helps you out, don't forget to drop a like down below. It's completely free and lets me know that you enjoy this type of content. Now, with formalities out of the way, let's talk games. So first things first, how should you approach team building in Zenless? Well, Zenless has a lot of reading involved when it comes to agents' kits and abilities. Like, a lot. If you're new to the game, or you're just getting your feet wet, it can feel like you're drowning in a sea of text. And I get it, you want to jump in, mash some enemies, and not get bogged down by the details. But I promise, taking time to understand what your agents can do will save you so much trouble later on. If you're someone who wants to optimize their team and squeeze out every bit of performance, you're gonna need to dive into those descriptions and really get to know your characters. But don't worry, I'm here to break it down for you. Now, I like to keep it simple and split agents into two broad categories when it comes to this game. You have your DPS agents and your support agents. Your DPS agents are your heavy hitters, the ones that are dealing the majority of the damage, whether that's through big crits or just building up anomalies. They're the stars of the show. Then you have your support agents. These aren't necessarily the characters classified as supports in the game, but rather anyone who makes your DPS agent's life easier. They're the enablers, the ones who provide stat boosts, debuffs on enemies, shield your team, shred enemy defenses. Think of them as the glue that holds the team together, allowing your DPS to go ham. Now, let's get to the fun part. Why does your team suck? If you're feeling like your damage is lackluster or your team isn't clicking, there's probably a few key reasons why. First off, the most common issue is underdeveloped skills and W engines. This game is all about building up your characters. So if you're running around with low level skills or haven't optimized your W engines, you're gonna feel that in your damage output. We'll talk about disk drives in a bit, but for now, let's focus on the real MVPs of why your damage sucks. Core skills and additional abilities. These two skills are the bread and butter of any good team. Core skills define what a character wants to do in combat, and additional abilities tell you how to make that happen efficiently. Let's use Anton as an example, because this guy is a beast when built correctly. Anton's core passive says whenever he uses a pile driver or drill attack, his damage increases. Pretty simple, right? That means his playstyle is all about spamming those attacks as much as possible to get that extra damage boost. Now let's look at his additional ability, Teamwork. It boosts Anton's damage when an enemy is shocked, but here's the catch. To trigger this, another character in your squad has to share the same attribute or faction as Anton. So now, we're not just thinking about Anton spamming pile drivers. We also need to keep his enemies shocked to maximize his damage. And since there are only 5 other agents who can cause shock, we've just narrowed down who we should pair Anton with. And that's where Grace comes in. Grace is an anomaly character, and she can build up shock super quickly. When you pair her with Anton, you're golden because her shock uptime guarantees that Anton's damage will stay boosted. But here's where it gets a little tricky. Now that we've paired Grace into the team, we have to take into account Grace's core passives as well. When she builds up stacks and hits enemies with her EX special attack, her anomaly buildup increases, which directly supports Anton's playstyle. And this is where team building becomes more of an art than a science. It's not enough just to have one strong character. Each agent's passives and abilities influence the others, and if you're not paying attention to those synergies, you're missing out on a huge damage potential. Take Jane Doe for example. Her additional ability only works with anomaly agents or faction members, meaning you can't just throw her into any random team and expect great results. She needs to be paired with the right people. Just look at Nicole. Her additional ability buffs ether damage for the whole team, but that only really shines when she's paired with an ether DPS like Juyuin. And it's not just about throwing characters with matching passives together either. You've also got to consider how their chain attacks and buffs work together. For example, Grace's EX special attack might not buff Anton directly, but it does increase the overall playstyle of the team by keeping enemies shocked, which in turn allows Anton to hit harder. You see how everything comes together? Now, here's my biggest tip I can give you when it comes to team building. Always ask yourself why. Why am I running these characters together? Why am I using these W engines? Why did I choose this specific disk drive? It's easy just to slap a popular set of W engines on your character and call it a day, but you have to ask yourself, why? Why does this work for this character? Take Thunder Metal for instance. Everyone knows it's great for electric agents like Anton, but why? What makes it so good specifically for him? Well, the 4-piece of this set increases your attack as long as an enemy remains shocked. Perfect for Anton, since we already know his damage goes up against shocked enemies. You want that synergy from start to finish. It's all about keeping those buffs rolling, and that's why pairing Anton with someone like Grace becomes even more of a no-brainer. So, now that we've talked about team synergy, who should you be pulling for? If you want my honest advice, it really just depends on what you already have on your account. Take a look at the agents you've pulled in their team passives. A lot of times, you might already have characters who can perform just as well as someone new. In one of my earlier videos, I mentioned that you shouldn't always pull for the shiny new character. If you missed that one, there's a pop-up now, so check it out if you're interested. But the point is, it's important to assess what you have before you dive into a new banner. Now, if you are a player that pulls for only characters that you enjoy, that's completely fine too. This game is meant to be fun after all. But if you're a min-maxer like me, you'll want to make sure you're pulling for characters that actually benefit your current roster. The first step to doing that is understanding your team passives, like we said before. Each agent in the game has unique passives that either directly or indirectly affect the rest of your team. These passives are more than just bonuses. They define the synergy of your squad. So, when you're pulling for new characters, always ask yourself, why does this agent work well with my current lineup? What do they bring to the table that my team doesn't already have? And how do their passives or abilities elevate the performance of my DPS or my support agents? Let's say you're considering pulling a new character who has a passive that increases your team's damage when enemies are stunned or shocked. If you already have a character like Anton, who thrives on enemies being in that state, this new character could be the missing piece to amplify his damage even more. So instead of just thinking, oh, this character looks pretty cool, now you're thinking, wow, this character completes my team's strategy. It's also important to consider long-term investment. Min-maxing is a game of patience. You'll want to ask yourself, is this character worth my resources? You don't want to waste valuable resources, like polychrome or level up materials, on characters who don't serve a purpose on your team, especially when some of the newer agents might have stronger passives or better synergies. By asking yourself why you're pulling on a character, you're ensuring that your resources go towards building a team that will not only work well, but stay effective as you progress through the game. If you're still lost or want more guidance, feel free to join my Discord. We've got a super friendly community that's always down to help, and you can even flex your builds in the Rate My Build section. Also, if this video helped you out, don't forget to drop a like down below. It's completely free and lets me know that you enjoy this type of content. Until next time though, happy gaming, and may your pulls be ever in your favor.